Hi guys, today we're going to look at part 3 of our strawberry grow along, and some of us may have fruit forming depending where we are in the country, but also depending on how old the plants are and how they've been started. So I'll take you in a moment to have a look, but my bare root strawberries are flowering and starting to produce fruit, whereas my runners from last year are starting to blush and giving us the first fruits of the season. I am, like many people, finding that the slugs and pests are becoming quite a problem and are even eating the strawberries before they are starting to blush. So we're going to go through a few things that we can do to help save some for us and protect them from those pests. These are the bare root strawberries that we planted up together but are new this year. As you can see, they are flowering and just starting to fruit now, but they are not quite ready yet and are going to be a little bit longer. That can also be to do with the varieties. So these are a variety called Florence, and it can also be to do with where we are in the country. So don't worry if yours aren't doing much yet. They will do, as they particularly like the heat, which we're not getting much of at the moment. And then these are the strawberries that have been planted up from the runners. Some of them will be a year old, most of them are runners, but as you can see they're all starting to produce quite well, and we're getting quite a flush of the strawberries coming now. I can't remember what variety these are, but they're doing very well. You may notice on your leaves something that looks like spit. This is from the spittle bug. They do very little damage to the strawberry, so I just leave them be. But what I am finding is that I turn them over, and most of the time they've had a little nibble, like this one has here. Oh, and even more on the backside. And then what you'll find is there's an ant in there that the little bugs go in and clean up after the slugs. I have only recently put this straw on, so hopefully that will start helping, because I was finding that even the ones that hadn't even started blushing yet had been eaten, and now that seems to be a little bit better over the last couple of days. These ones in the wood chips down here have actually seeded themselves from runners. And you will get a few like this one that goes sort of brown and horrible at the top, so just discard those and then give it plenty of space for the rest to start growing on. But what I am finding is the slugs are doing less damage in the wood chip, so that'll be really interesting to see if you guys find the same. One of the things that you can do is get like these little organzo bags. This is actually a smaller one than what I would probably want, but then you can find the fruit and just pop them inside. Obviously a bigger bag would take more than just one of the strawberries, and then do them up, and that just protects them from the slugs having any more of a munch on your strawberries before you get a chance to eat them yourself. And then the next thing that I do is actually harvest them when they're just starting to blush, but they don't have too much on yet. And the idea being that they're not as sweet, and hopefully the slugs and the other pests are going to leave them alone, and then you can continue ripening them on your windowsill in the kitchen and have more for yourself. Another way to protect them from the slugs, but not necessarily the birds, so you may still need to net them, is to have them in a hanging basket. It just stops them being on the ground, but you do need to make sure that you feed them every week, and that you also remove any old leaves like those that I need to in here, and keep them well looked after to make sure that they do flourish.